everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sonia and I would love it if you could subscribe, and if you're already an existing subscriber, welcome back. So I'm doing something a little bit different today on my channel, but something I'm so excited to be a part of, and it is the Project Panners tag, which was created by Ruth. Her channel is Ruth Foley. Of course I'm gonna leave it below. There are 12 questions all about project panning. When I first saw this, I was very interested in joining, and I watched Ruth's video and I popped a comment below asking if she wouldn't mind if I would join and be a part of this, and she said she would be honoured. So thank you so much, Ruth. I am really looking forward to doing this tag. Now there are a bunch of different project panners that have done this tag. I'm a little bit behind at the moment in watching all of my videos, so I haven't had a chance to watch all of them, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what other people's answers are going to be to these questions. I love this project panning community. Everyone I've come by has been so lovely. I just want to say thank you to Misty as well, because I did watch her video and she said that I should do this as well. So here I am, I'm doing it. I'm sorry it's a little bit late. Just my schedule is a little bit crazy at the minute, so I'm sorry it is late, but thank you again, Ruth, for allowing me to be a part of this. So let's get into the questions. So 10 of the questions were created by Ruth and 2 of them were created by 2 other panners. So the first question is the easiest category to pan. I don't really find anything easy to pan, but one thing I found definitely more recently is I've been able to pan like lip oils pretty fast. I am gonna show a product a bit later on for another question which I found quite easy to pan. I've definitely over the last half of the year found that I seem to have flown through those pretty fast. I wouldn't really say lip glosses because it took me ages last year to finish a lip gloss, but definitely lip oils because I can reapply them throughout the day. So question 2 is the hardest category to pan. I definitely have to say blush on this one. Every blush I've tried to pan, I have not been successful in panning. My first blush I ever tried to pan was MAC Flare Power, and that blush just didn't even look like it had any uses on it at all, and I'd been using it for a good 3 or 4 years solid. At one point that was the only blush I ever had in my collection, so I was using that every day, and it still just did not look like it had any use at all. So I have only been, and I say only been, project panning since October 2020. It's going to be 2 years this October, which is just insane. But that blush was the first product I introduced to my first project on this channel, and I had to declutter it because it went off before I could get pan. So I'm currently working on another blush this year. I've come back, I'm trying again. I have been using that blush since about April last year and I still have no pans. I would definitely say highlight as well, but I do think blush is definitely more difficult for me. So the next question is a product that you flew through. So this was the product I was referring to for question 1, and it is this one by Tilbury. Now I can never remember, is it the collagen lip baths? I think this is what it's called, isn't it? And this one's in Refresh Rose. I have a couple of these in my collection, and I thought when I introduced this into my That's Expensive project pan that this would be in for the long haul. I thought this would have still been in by now, but I somehow managed to fly through this in 4 months. So as you can see, it does still have some product, but I wanted to get through half of it, and even then, like I said, I thought half of it was going to take me a long time. But I actually think I'm going to have this done this year, which I didn't think was going to be the case. I think the reason why I was able to fly through this was because I had it at my work desk and I was making more of a conscious effort to apply it often. This is why I think for me, like, lip oils are a lot easier for me to pan. I have another one at the moment as well, which I have in my I Heart the 90s project, which again I've been able to use and get quite a bit of progress on. So I would definitely say that product I just flew through a lot faster than I thought. Question number 4, a product that you lost the will, it took so long to pan. That is definitely, for me, I can't show you it because I don't have it, but that is definitely the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood highlight. I can't think what you call it now. I was panning that all last year, and towards the end of it, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting very sick of that product. It was a beautiful product, but when you have used something just constant and all the time, because I didn't have as many projects last year on my channel as I do this year, so I have a bit more variety this year. But last year I was just focusing solely on that one, and yeah, I lost the will a little bit towards the end of the year. I didn't think that was going to take that long, that product, if I'm honest, because there was so much air in it. I thought I was going to have that done pretty fast, but I think it was about November, December that I finished that. And like I said, it was a beautiful product, but boy was I glad that was done. Nothing else springs to mind when I think about this question. It was definitely that product. Next question is a product you wouldn't let beat you. This product I do have and I can show you is definitely this product from NARS. This is Orgasm. So this was the blush that I was referring to earlier that I've been panning since last April, and all I'm trying to do is hit pan. For some reason, I think this is a never-ending blush. Honestly, I think this is a blush that is just going to be in my life forever. I keep saying to myself, this is going to be the month, this is going to be the month, I'm going to get pan. I'm pretty sure I've been saying that since about last October, and still no pan. I'm just not going to let it beat me. I'm going to get pan in this year. I am determined. This is in my focus blushes. I have a lot of blushes in projects right now, but this is a focus. I'm going to get pan this year, and as soon as I get pan, it's going back into my collection until I'm ready to finish it. This is going to be in my collection for God knows how long. I don't know, but I'm not going to let it beat me. This product is not going to beat me. So the next question is easiest eyeshadow formula to pan, matte and shimmer. So last year I had the I Heart Revolution Angel Heart palette as my pan that palette, and I found hitting pan on the mattes and the shimmers was very easy. I don't have that palette anymore because I decided to get rid of it, because I just knew myself, and I knew because I was using that palette all last year that I just wasn't going to want to use it anymore. So I got a lot of love on it, and I was quite happy to say that I was done with that. However, another eyeshadow formula I think might be quite easy to pan. I've not hit pan yet. I have been using this palette recently, and I used this shade one day, and I must have dipped in maybe 3 or 4 times into this shade, and I already have such a big dip in this. I think just the shimmers in this are really soft. The mattes, again, I have used a few times, like this one. I don't know if you're going to be able to see on here, but even that looks like it's had a bit of wear on it, and like I said, I've not even used that one as well. So I haven't hit pan on this yet, but I do think that this might be quite easy to hit pan on. I think I might have pan on at least one of these this year. So yeah, I'm gonna say that one, because it seems from the experience I've had with it that it's going to be quite easy. Question number 7 is then hardest eyeshadow formula to pan, matte and shimmer. When I saw this question, there was automatically 2 brands that popped straight into my head from my experience that I have struggled to hit pan on. The first one is Urban Decay, and the second one is Too Faced. I do have pan in, I think, at least 1, maybe 2 eyeshadows in my Too Faced palettes. I don't have any pans in my Urban Decay ones. I did originally this year have my Urban Decay Naked 3 as my pan that palette. I have had that palette for about 7 years. It's very sentimental to me, that palette, because it was the first like high-end eyeshadow palette I had in my collection, but it was also my parents that bought me that for my birthday, so it's very sentimental to me. I'm not using that palette anymore. It's actually just on display in my beauty room. I had that long, and I didn't have any pans at all in any of the mattes or shimmers. So this one isn't as old as that, but it is definitely about 4 years old. It doesn't even look like I have had any uses on this, really. I mean, you can clearly tell there has been some usage, but these are such deep pans for both the mattes and shimmers. This is just going to be quite difficult to pan, I think. And like I said, Too Faced, so I do have a couple of pans. I had this one in my Pan Those Eyeshadows last year. I always find it a little bit easier to pan cream shadows, but like this shimmer one here, I've used this so much, and there is no way I'm anywhere near close to hitting pan on this. I love Too Faced eyeshadow palettes though. They are some of my favourite. I love the colour story in this one, But this, even though I find it easier to pan cream shades, this one still took quite a long time to finish. These, similar to the Urban Decay ones, are very, very deep pans. So those two are definitely the ones I find the hardest to pan. So the next question is number 8, and that is the best alternate use to pan a product faster. Now I don't do this, I just use my products for their intended purpose, because I have so many products in my collection for each of their intended uses that I just don't see the need in needing to multitask a product. However, when I was growing up, my sister was one that taught me how to do makeup, and obviously YouTube as well. But one thing that she taught me, which I did used to do back in the day, I don't do it now, was to use my eyeshadow for my brows. That's quite a common one, I'm pretty sure everyone will know that, but that was one thing I did used to do back in the day. I'm not really one to use my products for another use. I would recommend going to watch some other tag videos, because I'm sure there is a lot of other project panners that do have good tips for this one. So the next question is number 9, and that is the best project panning tip or trick to use up a product. For me, my best tip would be to have it in your eyesight, or put it in a place where you know that you will reach for it more. For me, I have my products at my work desk, because that is where I sit majority of the time. But if that is downstairs for you on your side table or anything, that would be what I would recommend. Also, something else I find that I do as well is if I've been at work all day and I've put my makeup on in the morning and I need to film, I will reapply some of the products, so I'll get 2 uses on it that day rather than 1. And as well, just reapplying. So just make sure that you are making a conscious effort to reapply products throughout the day. But that's really what that would be my tip. And I think another thing as well, don't use a product that you don't like, because you're not going to want to use it and then you're not going to be able to use it up. So choose products that you know that you like, because you're going to want to use them. The next question, and this is the last question that Ruth created, was what project panning has taught you? And for me, it's all about having fun. Before I did project panning, I would have never in a million years used a colourful eyeshadow. And the one I'm thinking off the top of my head is a Poppy Cosmetics Neon Drip palette, which is in my That's So 2000 project. I would have never ever used that before, but project panning has taught me to come out of my comfort zone and use those colourful eyeshadows, and I actually really like them. I really like using colourful eyeshadows. Don't get me wrong, I still really love my neutrals and my pinks, and they're definitely always going to be my go-tos, but I don't hate colourful eyeshadows. And I think another thing it's taught me as well is how long it takes to use up a product and how I don't need to overspend. I briefly touched on this earlier on, but I bought so many products in 2021. It was insane how much I brought in. And this year I'm making way more of a conscious effort, because I know how long now it takes to use a product since being project panning for 2 years. I don't need to be buying loads of stuff. So I've been trying to buy one thing each month if I want it. But what I'm actually doing now is I'm trying to get some stuff together for my advent calendar. I know, talking about Christmas, but if I want something, I'm going to buy it to put it into that, so it's not going to be coming into my collection until the Christmas time. Definitely it's taught me that it's going to take me a million gazillion years to use all of the products in my collection. And most probably the reality is that I'm just not going to be able to finish everything in my collection, because it is going to go off before I get a chance to. Those, I think, are the key things that it's taught me: to have fun, to stop overbuying products, because stuff's going to take forever to use. So question number 11 is courtesy of Deb, and it is the product you're proudest of panning. And that definitely has to be, for me, the Benefit Hoola Bronzer. When I first introduced that back in October 2020, that didn't have pan. It had a lot of uses, but it didn't have pan. And by December 2020, it did have pan. By the end of last year, it was fully used up. So I'm really happy that I managed to use up a full-size bronzer. That was a massive achievement for me, because I'd never done that before. And the last question is courtesy of Danny, your favourite projects to watch. I love watching all projects, but a few that spring to mind are That's Expensive, a lot of the prompt-based projects, especially the year ones, Beauty A to Z, 50 Shades of, well, green this year, but you know, 50 Shades of Purple, etc. There's one recently that I've seen that's a bingo one that I would love to participate in maybe next year. A lot of the ones I do on my channel I love to watch, but also just a lot of the Fantastic Ladies collab Facebook group projects I just love watching. So I hope you enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed being a part of this, and this has just been so fun. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and it means the absolute world to me if you could subscribe if you don't already. And until my next video, thank you for coming by. See you later.